Hello and welcome back. You would have just learned about requesting product bookings, and now we're going to move into creating a trip in WeTravel where you will collect your passenger payments. So without further ado, on this step number 8, we're going to push Create Trip in WeTravel. First thing, it's going to ask you if you want to update the name of the trip. So you can see it went ahead and put in a name for you here. If you would like to update it, push yes, and you can rename it here. Otherwise, push no, and it will go ahead and default. Do you want to update the trip description? Your trip description is going to be the front of your web page where your passengers looking to register for the trip are going to see. So by default, we have a short description in here for you. If you would like to provide more information of any type to the people registering for your trip, you can do so by clicking yes. And you will see this does pop up as a warning to just let you know, for styling's sake, you can only use bold, italicize, underline, and hyperlink. No other font styling such as bullet point, coloring, etc. So just bold, italicize, underline, hyperlink. And that's just because of how things will display in WeTravel. So if you said yes, you can go ahead and add any details you want into here, and those will be added to your WeTravel page. So again, anything you might want to include, you can put there. I'm just going to go ahead and say no to move forward. Next, it's going to ask what you want to do about your welcome message. And the welcome message by default is also short, and that is the confirmation email sent to your customer upon booking. So when that person registers for your trip in WeTravel, they will receive an email, which WeTravel calls a welcome message, and it will let them know that they have completed their registration for that trip. So if you would like it to say more than just this thank you sentence, you can do so by clicking yes. Again, that same restrictions, those do apply. So you just click OK, and you can type in whatever you would like to in this welcome message. Again, this is going to be an email, and you can include bold, italicize, underline, and hyperlink. Those are the only font stylings that are allowed, but you can go ahead and put that in there, and it will send in that email as a confirmation for signing up for your trip. I'm going to say no to move forward. And now we have this paragraph of inclusions. So the system is going to go ahead and calculate out how many nights you put into here, your meals, attractions, if you had airfare, motor coach, etc., and a tour director. So if you do not want to go ahead and include this synopsis of inclusions for your trip in WeTravel, just go ahead and say no, and it will not add. Next, we're going to save and continue. So that will be the basics of your trip in WeTravel. Next, what we're going to move into are the questions you want to ask people booking your trip. So this is going to be the passenger questions section. So we have questions that we highly suggest you keep, and also ones that are optional. So these questions are going to be information that you would like to ask the people traveling on the trip. That data will ultimately come back for you to review on your trip. So make sure you ask any questions of things you might want to know. So we have gone ahead and put this information in for you. And again, this first section, we highly recommend you keep these questions as they are very important to both things working in the system and things you just really want to know. So you will see things like name, phone number, mailing address, date of birth, gender, traveler type, and basically here, these are all confirming terms and conditions. So we highly recommend you keep those, but if you do not want to keep those, all you need to do is uncheck the box and it will not add to your trip. In other words, it will not ask that question. If you would like to switch any of these options and what they say, you can go ahead and click this little pencil icon and change it. Although again, this top section, we recommend you keep it as is. Now below are some options that we've included that are popular questions that you might want to ask. And so if you really would like to know that information, maybe you want to have a confirmation of their legal full name, their middle name, maybe a secondary number, emergency contact info. If maybe this is a trip where you have minors attending and without their parents, you might want to know their parent information. If they have any allergies, food sensitivities, etc., you might want to know that, and disability or medical. And then also, if you would like to do travel insurance, that's also an option there. So for any of those questions, you can double click in this cell and you can change what this says for the text of the question. And you can go ahead and check this box to ask it. So I'm just going to say that I would like to know their emergency contact information. So I'm going to go ahead and check those 3 boxes, and it will then ask that on the trip. If you would like to add anything that is not listed here, you can click this Add Question box, and you can then fill in for your question for asking to the passengers. I'm just going to go ahead and move forward to check to confirm those question selections and continue. Next, we have our paragraphs. So in WeTravel, you have that front web page that when you share the URL with people registering for the trip, they'll get to see information. So like we had up at the top with that trip description, you can add additional sections of information. So we by default have given you the section for registration instructions, as we highly encourage you to include that just to have a backup for people who might not understand what to do when they get to the web page. If you would like to add anything else, go ahead and click this Add Paragraph button. I'm just going to go ahead and save. And you can put in a title here, and you can also put in some paragraph text. Again, you can see those restrictions for bold, italicized, underline, and hyperlink. So those same restrictions apply whenever you're creating a paragraph. And that would just be additional information you might want to let them know. So I went ahead and clicked back here to get back to my other screen. All right, so now that I'm back here, I'm just going to go ahead and check this to confirm my paragraph selections and continue. Next, we have our package types. So by default, you will have those package types of what you wanted to have for pricing. So we have quad, triple, double, and single. And those will be the package types that are going to be offered to the passengers when they book. Next, it's going to ask you what you would like to name these packages. By default, you will see quad, triple, double, single, and the package after. If you don't like those names, you can say, yes, I want to update the names, and then you can do so here. But I'm just going to go move forward. The same thing applies here. We have some default package descriptions. If you don't like those, click yes, and you can update. Otherwise, click no. Next, it's going to ask you if you want to offer automatic payments as a payment option to passengers. For automatic payments, the way that it's best to set it up in WeTravel is that you will have one quad package, for instance, on regular payments, and then one on automatic payments. So that way, when your passengers go to sign up to register, they can make the selection of automatic payments or manual payments. So that makes it on them as far as what they would like to pay, and off of you as far as enrolling them into automatic payments. So if you would like to offer that option, click yes, and we will do all the setup for you for making sure those automatic payments are available for the passenger to select. But if you don't want to offer that to your individuals who are registering, just go ahead and click no. I'm going to go ahead and click yes, though. And at this point, we went ahead and we have completed all that we need to complete for setting up the WeTravel trip. If you want to double check, you can scroll up and see if anything else needs to be fixed. Maybe you changed your mind about something. You can do so at this time. And then once you are good, you click Save and Send Trip to WeTravel, and it will create that trip for you. Once it's completed, it's going to pop up a tab with that trip that has been added to WeTravel. Thank you so much for watching.